Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we are making my just basic vanilla buttercream frosting. I believe this is my first frosting video I have put on the channel. There will be more, so this will be in my recipes playlist, but I'm also going to make a frosting playlist as well. I do put a lot of work into trying to make my videos easily accessible for what you're looking for, because I know as a viewer of YouTube, I follow certain channels and I don't always like everything that they're posting, certain things, and I love when they have playlists set up for me, and so I really do try to do that to help my viewers. Okay, so we are going to start with 8 tablespoons of butter, and you want to let it sit out for a while and soften. And I like to take it out of the wrapper while it's still firm, and I just throw it in here. It's been in here for a few hours, so it is soft. For some people, that's going to be 1 stick of butter, but for me, using Kerrygold, it's like a double stick, so this is half a stick for me. And if you aren't using sticks, then it's a half a cup of butter. Now, it is really important to let it fully soften, because I used to be impatient and not plan ahead, and I'd be rushing it. It's kind of soft, and I would rush, and I would ruin my frosting, because you can't judge the final consistency of the frosting unless your butter is fully softened. And that is another point that I want to talk about, is how thick or thin you make your frosting depends on what you're going to do with it. If you're just frosting a cake, that's like middle of the road consistency for your frosting. If you are piping decorations, borders, flowers, what have you, you want to keep your frosting a little bit stiffer and thicker for it to hold those shapes. And then if you're writing words or doing, very fine squiggly lines, then you want it a bit thinner. And so when I make a full cake, I make my frosting and I actually split it up. The majority is going to be middle of the road for frosting the whole cake. So when I get to the thick consistency, I pull part of it aside and hold that for thick. Then I thin it more to the medium consistency, and then I take out, for writing on a cake, it's a very small amount. So I take that very small amount out and I thin that just a bit more. Then I have my whole setup for my cake. I decide what colors I want everything to be, and I might split them up further for that. But all of that to say, there's a lot that goes into just making frosting. And I do want to add that you can change this recipe to be dairy-free, plant-based, vegan, depending on what you use here. I like to use butter, but you can use a shortening. I do like Spectrum brand shortening because it's not hydrogenated fat, it's just palm oil. And you could also try doing butter alternatives that are out there in this. And the consistency is going to vary depending on what that butter alternative is made out of and how it melts. So you want to be cautious and go into it holding back your liquid portion and observing it. And you may even need to add, if it is too runny without even adding liquids, then you may have to add in more powdered sugar. And anytime you do over thin it, you can add more powdered sugar, and it's not going to be perfect, but I doubt anyone's going to notice. Okay, to the 8 tablespoons of butter, we're going to add 4 cups of powdered sugar. You can sift it if you want. I honestly never do, and it always turns out great. Okay, I'm going to put these on the stand mixer and mix them together. It's just the butter and the powdered sugar at this point. I hope you can hear me over the mixer. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. And I'm going to start with 2 tablespoons of water. You could use milk instead of water. I used to always have to keep things dairy-free, and we didn't even have milk in the house, and I got used to using water in a lot of recipes. If you've been around this channel for a while, you know that we moved recently, and I still don't have access to all my kitchen stuff, and I only have these ginormous piping bags, not my normal bags. I can't find them yet, so we're going to make this work. I always like to put the inner part inside and then just kind of score around the tip of it, and then you just pull this tip off. And then I can screw this part on. That's the way I like to do it. And I always like to put my piping bag into a glass. That keeps it upright, and it's just so easy to fill it that way. Then I just get a big spoon and put it into the piping bag. Sometimes you gotta lift it up and kind of let it shake down into the lower part. Otherwise it all just sits up here and you can't put more in there. Now, normally I would ask my son if he wants to lick the bowl, but he's at work. So I may or may not be licking this off screen. But I am going to do a taste test. Wonderful. So then you want to squeeze it, twist it, and then you keep this twisted and you squeeze from up here as you're piping your frosting. Sometimes I do make this and we just have it on hand for a while. It doesn't all get used for one specific thing. And I will put a rubber band around this to keep it closed and keep it from getting dried out and crunchy. But that's it for making this frosting. But I will definitely be making more videos on different types of frostings coming your way in the future. But I hope you enjoyed this one and I hope you try to make it. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day and God bless you.